Hi, good morning and welcome to the Oracle Wellness session on Easter Monday. Just to let you know, this particular session is pre-recorded. Unfortunately, I'm not able to do it live on Monday, so I'm having to record this over the Easter weekend for you. But do please contact me or comment when you do watch on Monday, because I will be able to reply to you. I just wasn't in a position to do a live. So having said all that, happy Easter, Ostara, blessings to you, depending on how you feel about Easter and what it represents to you. And also happy pink moon, because we've had that energy around us as well over this Easter weekend. So lots and lots going on and super powerful vibrations combining those two events. Excuse me. So obviously I'm going to kind of link into both of those with regard to our session today. And the common link between the two is rebirth and renewal. So the pink moon is representing that, all things new, fresh energy coming in. And obviously with Easter, we're looking at death and rebirth or resurrection. So as I said, the two things kind of link quite nicely together, and therefore that's going to kind of be my focus today. What I've done is I've picked out of 4 decks the death card. Now, most people, when they see that card, have a bit of a, ooh, not sure if I like that. But actually, once you look past that initial thought and look deeply into the card, you'll realise that actually it's really transformational, and it's a really positive card, okay? Doesn't actually mean the physical death, it's representing the death of the old. So, as I said, I've picked out 4 cards. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you each of the 4 cards and I want you to pick the one that resonates most closely for you. And then what I'm going to do off the back of that is do just a general spread for each of those, which will give you more of a personal kind of reading, okay? So the first death card that I'm going to show you is from a French angel deck here. Okay, so just take a couple of seconds just to look into that card. See what that says to you. Then the second card that I am going to show you is from the Thelema deck. Now you may recognise these, we've used them previously in Oracle Wellness. Okay. The third one is from a Buddhist deck. So a very different look to this card here. And this kind of depicts Mother Earth, as you can see. And then the fourth one comes from a teaching deck that I use. So this one is a really big card because it's used to show to groups of people. So this one's got kind of a bit more of a basic imagery on it, but really bright, vibrant colours. Okay, so just to recap, this is card 1. Card 1 is, as you can see, look, you've got these people here laying down underneath this horse. So this is like the death of the old. The horse and the rider signify victory. Okay, so he's yielding this sword here, as you can see, and he's also got this flag. So this is like surrender the old and charging into victory off the back of an old situation. Okay, so if that's the card that resonates with you, just make a note of that. That's card number 1. Card number 2 we have here. Much more kind of photographic sort of image with this one. So again, we've got a horse, as you can see, as we had in the previous card. Horses are very significant with regard to representing power and strength. Obviously very spiritual animals as well. And the hooded figure here is kind of representing the unknown, or the thoughts that you have surrounding yourself. So this is kind of like showing you the aspect of you. This is old stuff. And the white horse here in the background represents that this fresh energy is coming in. So all this light, spiritual light above, as you can see. The death card, this particular death card as well, also links to Scorpio. There's a scorpion in here, I don't know if you can see there. And there's this figure is kind of standing on all of these bones. So similar to the last card where it showed the images of the people, this just shows bones, which represents the old. Okay, outworn patterns, old news basically. Okay, so is this the image that you're drawn to? And don't forget, you might not be drawn to it in a, oh yes, I love that card. It might be more of a ooh reaction to the card. But that's all good. That's a good reaction, because that's showing that that has kind of resonated with you. Card number 3 is the Buddhist deck here, showing Mother Earth. What initially looks just like rocks. Obviously, as you look into it, you can see here she is. Here's her face and her body. And then from her solar plexus grows this tree. New life, resurrection, new beginnings. And again, similar to the other card here, in that you've got the spiritual light coming from above here. Okay. Nice earthy colours with this card. And card number 4. Okay, from a traditional kind of tarot deck. Very early sort of imagery when the cards first originated. Again here, as you can see, you've got another horse rider signifying victory. This horse much more kind of majestic in the way that it's kind of prancing through. And here you've got the sun through these pillars here. So this is like representing a gateway, and the sun is representing the fact that you are just about to walk through this. So from this challenging kind of old situation, moving into brightness and growth. So again, which one jumps out at you? 1, 2, 3 or 4? So now what I'm going to do is, now you've kind of made your selection, excuse me, I am going to do a spread that is for you. Okay, so if you picked card number 1, this is what we want you to focus on at the moment. Okay, so for those who picked number 1, the first thing that I want to talk about is being at a crossroads, or needing to make a choice or a decision about which direction you go in. This card shows you blindfolded, uncertain of which way to go, maybe listening to other people and their opinion rather than yourself. as you can see, the water is very, very calm. So it's saying that although you're in this kind of uncertain time, not really sure which way to go, actually there's not really that much of an issue, because all the water around you and the earth is very calm, very secure. Okay, it's very balanced here with these two moon and sun images here. And although you are in conflict, unsure of the direction, this is saying you're in actually a very balanced state of mind, or a balanced situation. So those inner thoughts that are causing the conflict are actually not that important in the scheme of things. Now, the Three of Pentacles is the next card that we have, and Pentacles are work or money cards. This shows you carrying this sack, this abundance that you have created with regard to your work and finances, and also your home, because that comes under the same pentacle card. So here you've got abundance, prosperity, good fortune, making good decisions with regard to work. So when you think back to the previous card of this, I'm uncertain which direction to go in, actually, are things as bad as you think they are with regard to your work? Are you just feeling a bit sorry for yourself? You know, are you just really reaching a point where your unhappiness is only your own thoughts, and that your actual situation is really quite good and really quite abundant? Following on from that, even more so, you've got the Three of Cups. Three of Cups talks about relationships, celebration, happiness, making good decisions. And so this would kind of signify with regard to number one, people, that things aren't actually that bad, that you are maybe making a bit of a mountain out of a molehill. Maybe you are your own worst enemy, and that you're kind of seeing your cup as half empty as opposed to half full, because this is saying that any decisions and choices that you're making at the moment are fantastic, and that you maybe need to kind of believe in yourself a bit more. Okay, are you kind of shooting yourself in the foot? Are you your own worst enemy? Are you stopping your own progress? Okay, so all those number ones is actually a very positive spread. Nothing to worry about there. The first card, the Two of Swords, is your inner conflict. The blindfold is suggesting that you can't see clearly, but maybe stepping back from that and realising that actually, what change do you need to make? Because this is just a thought process. This is not saying that everything around you is crumbling or in dire need of change. This is just saying that you are kind of feeling a bit fed up. Okay, so that's just mindset, isn't it, at the end of the day? So all those number ones, quite simple, quite straightforward. Creating your blocks yourself. No massive hurdles that you need to overcome. It's all just a positive mental outlook. So now number twos. Okay, so focusing on the card number two. Okay, so what do we want to hear for all you number twos out there? Oh, okay. So you may be struggling a bit more. Okay. So firstly, we have the King of Pentacles. So again, if you picked card number two, this reading is for you. Okay, so King of Pentacles, as you can see, choppy seas. So last card showed very calm seas. This shows choppy sea, which represents kind of challenging emotions, or things really feeling, you know, up and down and all over the place. And so your security is at risk here. So this could again be your work or your home. Here you're scrutinising your finances here, and it's saying whereby you've maybe always had that security around you, you're now feeling that that is being taken away. quite often not due to your own doing. So this can be outside influences that are causing this disruption for you. So difficult and challenging life situations often involves another person here. This person, this king, is sitting on the throne, quite full of their own importance, but this will be saying to you that actually you need to draw on an inner strength and regain your power so that you don't give your power over to this other person that is creating this kind of uncertainty for you. Okay, so it's about regaining your own power with this spread for number 2. Lots of disruption around you. So the 5 of Wands, as you can see there, represents family struggles. So it can be rows within the family, or just can be difficult family scenarios that are kind of causing your discomfort or sadness. And this is really taking a toll on your kind of mental outlook here. So this is, in a sense, other people's problems or energy that is impacting on your life. Okay, so whereas before, in the last spread with the ones, they were creating their own kind of thoughts and issues, here this is showing this is coming from outside. So this is causing you stress and upset. Okay, and then the last card that we have here for all you number 2s is the 5 of Swords. Now the 5 of Swords again is a bit of a challenging card. So swords represent power struggles, difficult sort of challenging situations that we're needing to deal with. Now the 5 represents like material loss, feeling again like your security is at risk. And again, that can be your home, or can be your job, your financial situation. Could be that somebody is kind of holding the purse strings for you. So it's difficulties surrounding your finances or your security, and largely impacted by another person. And quite often that is a member of the family. So there's conflict issues within the family. Also, it doesn't have to be maliciously. It can be due to ill health. You know, you could have a member of the family that's unwell and you are having to kind of sort things out for them. So again, it's not always sent in a kind of malicious way. But the 5 of Swords kind of has this kind of gossipy, bit of a darker edge to it, in that it can represent the fact that somebody is kind of behaving slightly underhand around you, or someone is kind of really pushing your buttons. Okay, so for those that picked card number 2, this is suggesting that yes, you are kind of having a little bit of a struggle at the moment, and maybe you would want to kind of contact me about talking through those kind of issues, because we may be able to kind of bang our heads together and look at ways of you regaining your power there. So that's what you're needing to do. It's, you know, we can't always change our situation. You know, if it's coming from outside, it's not always easy for us to eliminate. What we can do is change our perspective and change how we react or respond, which in turn has an impact on the situation itself. Okay, so for those of you that chose card number 3, and if you need reminding, this is card number 3. Okay, so let's focus on card number 3 and the message for you this morning. Wow. Okay. So you have got 2 very similar cards out of the 3. First one is the 5 of Pentacles. Okay, so Pentacles, as we've said earlier, this is looking at work, money, finances, home, etc. Anything that represents financial security to you. But this is kind of saying, well, actually, you've got your finger in way too many pies here. So you are kind of juggling work, family, home, whatever. You may be very, very good at what you do, but you have a tendency to maybe take on too much, or not see a project through, get bored and think, oh yeah, well that was great, but now I want to do this. So this is saying you really need to kind of look at things that you can eliminate from your list, okay, and from your responsibilities, because it's not saying that you're not capable of dealing with them. It's just saying you're spreading yourself a bit too thinly. So yes, you may be kind of managing to do all of these things, you know, reasonably effectively, but actually if you took 2 or 3 out of the equation, would you not excel in the 2 that you keep? So maybe kind of looking at fine-tuning your career or your free time, your social time, to really focus on the things that will bring you success. And there is a real successful energy with this spread here, coupled with this fire. So King, if you can say there, King of Wands. This is representing, again, we've got the power like we had in the other one with the other spread with the king sitting on the throne. Here the fire around this one's feet represents quite someone who could be quite difficult, someone who can kind of be quite fiery. So if your personality is one of kind of challenge, or if you are surrounded by someone who kind of is quite challenging, this can kind of have one of 2 effects on you. This can be, oh no, I'll just tread on eggshells and I'll just pussyfoot around this person. Or if it's you, you may think, right, I'm really geared up, I'm really fired up. And equally, if that person around you gives you that vibration, that can be quite a momentous energy. So this spread is more about feeling empowered. So whereas in other spreads we've seen this morning, people are needing to kind of regain their power, this is saying actually you've got it in shed loads, but you're needing to direct it in the right way. So you may be very connected spiritually, you may be very on path with your career, but this is saying maybe you're just getting a little bit too cocky in that you're kind of doing this, that, the other. Yeah, I can manage everything. And this is saying just take a step back and just think, hang on a minute, is there a quicker, easier way to my success? You know, do I need to kind of prove A, B, C, D to everybody, or shall I just stick with A, my first thought and my first thing that I embarked on, and create the success around that? Be known for what you do best, and certainly you will. So the 10 of Pentacles here, Tree of Abundance, prosperity, good fortune, gift, financial assets coming to you. So this is a really wonderful card with regard to success and good fortune, and this says you're on the right track and you're doing exactly as you should be, focusing on you and fine-tuning your skills. So this has got money coming to you, and also not necessarily in pound notes or euros, where depending on where you're listening to this from, but this is about abundance. So you put in that effort into that work role and you are getting that back. Okay, you put that effort into your hobbies and that comes back to you. You know, you maybe become very successful and create a business out of what you love to do. So personal achievements and getting the backing from spirit with abundance and prosperity with this card. So any help you need to get to where you're going is coming very, very shortly. Okay, so feel free to just run with it because it's very successful. Okay, so not much for you guys to worry about. More about just taking that step back and making sure that you are fine-tuning and focusing on the essentials as opposed to spreading yourself too thinly. Okay, so thank you for waiting patiently, all you number 4s. Okay, so what message do we have for number 4s today? Right, okay. Well, I feel a little bit not sorry for you. That's not the right word, but I do feel for you because you have got quite an interesting spread here. Firstly, you've got 2 queens out of the 3 cards, and then you have this Hanged Man. So initially, Queen of Swords is in quite forthright, quite independent person, someone that doesn't really need anyone else, and you know, they can stand on their own 2 feet and they can manage, and they're really resourceful and good at what they do, and they don't take any old rubbish from anyone. So you know, if you picked out card number 4, this is saying, you know, stand up for yourself and reassert yourself and be who you are, because nobody is going to kind of take advantage of that. However, you've got the Hanged Man. Now, the reason that you've got the Hanged Man here, he's basically saying that you can't make any progress at the minute. So whilst you have got that determination and that willpower and that drive, you're stuck. And that is not through your own doing. So this is saying that, you know, outside influences are just kind of grinding things to a halt. And that, with your energy, is really frustrating, because you're kind of thinking, well, I want to get on with it, I know what I'm doing, but something's standing in the way. Now, you need to establish what is standing in the way, because from where I'm sitting, it feels like you are thinking it's outside problems, but actually you need to bring it back to yourself. Here we have the Queen of Wands. So this is kind of a lesser independent woman. So this will be representing kind of maybe who you once were. Okay, so yes, you're feeling like you're quite independent, stand on your own 2 feet, strong, you know, focus driven, but this shows a more vulnerable side of you. And also, you know, for the guys that are watching this, don't take any notice of whether it's a king or a queen. It's more about the personality trait that's significant. Okay, so here this is representing this younger you, or this less motivated, less independent you. So it's taking you back to a time of trauma where you were maybe not as vibrant as you currently are. And so your block, I would ask you to look back to your past to see what is stopping you from proceeding now. It's minor, and it's just a blip. It's not going to take very long for it to shift and change, but it requires you to look inwards to a time previously where maybe this situation has presented itself before. You know, maybe you're seeing that come round again and opportunities come up. It's happened before and you didn't take it. Maybe look back at why you didn't take it. The block now is not because it's not meant to be. The block is to allow you to look back on your old self and grow from the situation. Okay, so it's all good, and you've got the all the tools you need for success. It's just saying, just look a little bit inward. Take that moment. You know, how did you respond previously? Change that this time. Okay, maybe look back to old wounds that you have taken on board from a different situation and a different time, and recognize, well, yeah, everything's ground to a halt purely because it's brought up a fear or insecurity in me from previously. But the good thing is, with this card, you can see the roots coming out here. This person is very grounded, very secure. So although they may have these kind of issues from the past that they are needing to resolve, absolutely got the strength to do that, and they've got the people around them to do that, to help them with that as well. Okay, so there we've got 4 different death cards, and 4 separate readings for you. If you need to, play it back, have a think about you, what's going on in your life, how it resonates with you, and we're just going to, as normal, finish off with a affirmation card. Okay, so clearing the mind. Oh crikey, I'm dropping them everywhere. These are so apt, these cards. Okay, so bearing in mind with what we were just saying, I am compassionate and understanding with myself. Okay, so our affirmation, I'm compassionate and understanding with myself. So let's not give ourselves a hard time. Let's understand why we're where we're at. Let's understand what's got us to that point as well, and note that any success is well deserved and well earned, and regardless of how many kind of hurdles or issues that are presented to you, ultimately you choose whether you stay in that energy or whether you work through it. So if you stay in that energy, you're going to repeat a pattern, it's going to come back to you. If you kind of confront it full on with love, then we can move forward from it. So recognizing that it all kind of stems from you lovely people. Okay, well, on that note, thank you for listening. Really appreciate your feedback and your questions, because that's how we kind of move forward, isn't it? By asking those questions and looking deeply within ourselves. As normal, you can check in with Lucy to book in your one-to-one. This is free, no charge to you whatsoever. So if you'd like a little bit of help or guidance, please get in touch. Okay, until then, enjoy your bank holiday Monday, and I will see you next week. Take care.